Okay, welcome again to another stream talking about Unreal. Today it's going to be Unreal 5 because that just happened yesterday. And nobody was really ready for it, and neither was I. So here we go. Oh, Dave's here. Excellent. Glad to see you here, Dave. Yeah, it's been, I'm a little bit stressed actually about how today's going to go because I didn't really expect to be taking on such an interesting challenge. I only just got the Valley of the Ancient project downloaded this afternoon. It's 100 gigabytes, takes a while to do. And I tested it out, I opened it up, got it working, make sure it ran. And then I closed it. So I'm still very much going to be like, what the heck is going on, as much as everybody. And I did watch some of Will Fauchure's, his name's Fauchure, I found out his last name today. Some of his stream that he did yesterday about Unreal 5. And it was, yeah, like, 10,000 people watching his stream or something. He really hit some sort of niche market that just sort of like everybody was like, let's. I think what happened, he's telling me, is like he managed to download it before the downloads crashed. So he managed to get his copy, and then it was like the downloads got stuck. So whatever reason, he managed to get it, and then he was doing a stream. Everybody was watching. So he's very. It was very interesting talking to him today about that. Anyway, speaking of Will, we're actually going to have him join the stream tomorrow or next week, not tomorrow, and I'm going to talk about this again at the end of the stream so we don't forget about it. But it's not going to happen at this hour. It's going to happen. Oh shoot, I haven't done the math yet. 6 hours earlier, I think, which will be 1 p.m. Eastern time. And that's just because he lives in Europe, and this hour is very late for him. So we're gonna do a stream next week that's gonna be earlier, and we're gonna have him here. We're gonna do like a guest thing. It's gonna be kind of interesting. I've never done a guest thing, so we're gonna have lots of technical problems, and it should be good. but it should be neat to have him on here. He's a lot of fun to chat to. So. Yeah, so Australian time, it doesn't work so good. So sorry, Sarah, and everyone in Australia. There's always an hour that's not going to work. You catch the European people, and then you lose the Australian ones. Oh, Senior Sato? Hello. I want to get to test UE5, but I need to get a better environment to do that, so I just need patience. Better environment? Do you mean like your computer environment, or do you mean like an actual level to work with? Because they give you this level of the Ancient for free. It's just really huge. And like the minimum spec requirements is like 32 gigabytes of RAM, which I'm like, oh, they actually recommend 64. I only have 32 gigs of RAM, so I don't know what that means exactly for how this is going to work today, but better modeling in Blender. Oh, like better environment modeling. Yeah, well, I mean, you don't even have to worry about LODs anymore. It's pretty impressive, the things you can do. We were having a whole chat about it today in our tech artist meeting, trying to figure out what this means for our course structure. But it doesn't really change a whole lot because it's very hard to say what's in this build is going to still be there when the full release comes out in next year. So and there is a lot of big questions when it comes to animation, which is like, does anything change with animation? Because the nanite technology that allows you to have infinite polygons isn't applicable with anything that's a skeletal mesh. So you can't really, like, you know, have a infinite polygon character skinned and expect that to be running nice and easy. Audrey says, I made it to the Blender channel celebration. I added all the concept artists to Blender and ZBrush because I found out that they actually teach that in the course now, which I was very impressed, and also realized the potential there, that I should really get you guys in on that channel. So awesome. Senior Technical wants to do his own environments from zero. Well, if you're talking about assembling environments in Unreal, it's very easy and definitely doable. You know, you just grab Quixel assets and populate it, and you're done. But if you're talking about modeling them, then yeah, it's a lot bigger of a conversation. Audrey says thank you. Okay, so Audrey, the other conversation, which is carrying over from last week, is should you guys get invited to the open session Unreal Development course channel? Sorry, not course. And I don't know what the answer is, but it's definitely, we're working towards the answer. But it seems like Brandon just posted today, messaged me today, that there was, sorry, I gotta find his message now. I gotta get the number right here. We need a drum roll to make this more interesting. There was 24 people, 24 concept artists that voted yes to get access to the Unreal Open Session. So it's possible that it will happen. Sarah's saying yes, exclamation mark, but unfortunately Sarah isn't actually gonna be one of these people that's gonna get access to it, because this is just for concept artists who are taking a course currently. So sorry, Sarah. But the answer should still be yes, because it's very considerate of you. Audrey, should we, question mark. Yeah, so 24 people, I mean, not everybody even is on Slack, so it's like, if you're getting 24 votes yes, and I don't think you're getting any votes no, then that seems like it's good enough to push the button and make it happen. Hey, Louis here. Welcome, Louis. Glad to see you made it back. Anyway, I asked Brandon, is it pretty safe then? And he hasn't got back to me, so that's where we're at right now. But pretty sure we're going to be able to pull the trigger on that one at this point, because it does seem pretty easy bet, and it's pretty helpful for the concept artists. So I did bring it up in the heads meeting, and we talked about it and everything. So, you know, there you go. Make a request. Sometimes it works out. The other big change that we had, since we're talking about open session channels, is that we made it so, this is another conversation that actually probably came from the request that you guys did, is to expand the time that people can be in the open channels. So we've now made it so that if you are within your 3-month completion window after your course is finished, you also get to be in the channel. So everybody gets to be in the channel for 3 months longer, which is very cool. And I thought it was going to be a really hard thing to fix, but actually it was just a little simple line to check and done. So everybody's been added back into the open sessions who are in that 3-month window, and they've also been added to the other channels like student CG Spectrum students channel, because and probably Sarah's been joined back into the College students channel, now that I think about it, because you're in that 3-month window. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so now you get 3 more months. You get to take advantage of the free open sessions that we offer for our students, and if we get you into the Unreal one, then you get to hang out with me and Justin for 2 open sessions a week. It's fun. All right, so we'll jump over to my desktop here, and you can see here, this is William Faucheur. Gotta get his name, pronounce his name correct every time, especially if I'm gonna have him on my stream tomorrow next week. But anyway, he's a mentor with CG Spectrum as well, so you're welcome to go and send him a message on Slack if you want to. But anyway, he did his stream last week. Look, 25,000 views. It's crazy. Of taking a look at Unreal 5 last week, and so he got. I was watching through. I've only gotten through an hour of it so far. I haven't even watched the whole thing, but it's pretty hilarious watching him do the stream, because he's just like, I don't know what I'm doing, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, because this thing just came out yesterday. Oh, Louis says, Disney philosophy, messing around between different departments. Love it. Ah, yeah, there you go. Ah, I like that argument. Well done, putting that one in there. Sarah says, I was in and out for the alumni channel a dozen times. It was weird. Yeah, so, okay. I broke the alumni channel problem again. I've got it fixed now. I accidentally, as I added everybody who has a 3 months thing in there, I actually also had a piece of line of script that removes everybody from alumni, but I wasn't supposed to remove them from alumni, and then I had to go back and make a change so that I added everybody to alumni and then removed them from alumni, and then of course again. So you may have been jumped in and out of alumni a few times because of me trying to solve a more complicated problem. I was doing that last night at like 1 in the morning, so hopefully I didn't screw it all up. And Louis says, hi, Audrey. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to open up the engine. I've already opened it up once, so I'm pretty confident it'll work. Check out how many more folders they have. This is like, we've got all kinds of folders in this. Maybe the binaries is for like, it's a compiled version in here. Or maybe there's a lot of C++ content in here. I'm not sure. You have a source folder. Oh yeah, here's your C++ stuff in your source. Do you have anything else in here? Right, no, just C++ stuff. Oh, wait, what's in character? Yeah. Alright, so there's a lot of fairly custom stuff in here that has to be compiled and gets put into binaries. Or does it go into build? I don't remember. I don't usually work with C++ projects very much. So we'll open it up. And then I might disappear because everything will crash in a horrible, horrible way. Alright, we're good. So here's the first screen you get. The whole interface has changed. There's actually a really nice tutorial from Unreal that talks about how to, it just gives you the real rundown of what the interface changes are, and it was really nice, actually. It was a very well made tutorial video, very short and quick. Got to the point, but was pretty thorough. And basically, from the perspective I heard from Will, I mean, it's just basically a 4.6.1. Like it's not much different in terms of 4.6, but it's just they rearranged and changed the UI quite a bit. So you got to kind of get used to that. Of course, there is also this really obvious changes like Loomis and Nanite technology, which is obviously massively huge. But in terms of like an overhaul of a new engine, usually if you get a new engine, it's like your whole concept of your pipeline is totally different. But the pipeline here is supposed to be pretty similar. Sarah says, I can't work out how to add water in UE5. Yeah, and so that was actually brought up in Will's stream as well, and there is no water. So it's just one of those features that they haven't been able to get it working to a point where they're able to share it with people. So early access, you don't get access to all the funky features yet, but definitely get access to a lot of cool stuff. Hey, Alina's here. Nice. Oh gosh, I'm scared of UE5. Tell me about it. Man, I was so nervous doing this stream. It was like, geez, I'm gonna be like looking so ridiculous as I'm trying to navigate this whole new interface, whole new stuff. This is literally the second time I've opened the editor, and I haven't done very much at all. I have watched through an hour of Will's stream, so and I watched the tutorial from UE4, so hopefully I'll be able to get through the stream okay. Sarah needs her water before she can actually bring her project over to UE5. Well, there you go. That is pretty much a good point of where you're going to be. Also, yeah, back to UE4. Also, I've heard from Will that he brought in some architectural rendering stuff from his other projects into UE5, and they didn't shadow render very well. That whole Lumen technology doesn't quite shadow crisp, clean shadow edges as well as it used to. So there are areas where UE5 is not ready for optimal production. But what is great for is doing organic shadowing, and that is basically everything that this whole tutorial level is about, which I'm going to get to in very soon. Sarah, that's why my game demo won't open in UE5, I guess. Yeah, well, I guess it's probably a lot of things. If you're using a lot of new tech, it's possible that there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, even if you come down to the point of if you have VFX made in Cascade, they've removed Cascade now, so everything has to be in Niagara. Just stuff like that would add to your complexity of how you have to prepare before you switch over. So you notice the content browser is in this fancy little thing. I think they put a real big motivation on like giving you more window space, and I think that is kind of a cool idea. But it really does force you to change your what you're accustomed to for how your layout is. But anyway, you go to the content browser. It's going to be the same otherwise, from what I can tell. And then in the maps, there's this ancient world, which is where we're going to get to our file. I've never opened Megascan's asset zoo. I assume it's like a file that has like all the assets. I don't even know. I don't even know what that's going to be. And then the startup level is the one we're at currently. So it's just telling us that you need at least 32 gigs of RAM just to open it. I have no idea how hard that really is. And you need a 1080 card, which is not too crazy. And higher of 8 gigabytes of VRAM though. That's pretty intense. So I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of people with computers that are just not up to the minimum specs. So, but I guess that's just to run this demo, right? So if you're just running like a regular project, I'm sure the specs won't be any different than before. But running this one in particular, because it's like a 100 gigabyte file, it's got some issues. Elena, oh, hey Simon, off the topic, but the Rookie's weekly drill is shipping containers. Oh, is shipping containers. So I'm polishing up that scene from the game I showed you. Oh my goodness, you're right, those are shipping containers. That's brilliant. But you only have a week. That's alright. That sounds like a realistic industry deadline, assuming that you're working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. But that is quite convenient, isn't it? Shipping containers. You're already pretty far along on that scene, so I would go for it for sure. Take advantage of that. Is that this week then? The week that we're in, that's currently Thursday? Or Friday in Australia? What else is down here? And it's only supported by GPUs, and lower specs, just the viewports. Oh, yeah, Will was telling me about this. You can adjust the viewport screen percentage setting, get better performance. So if you are on the slower computer, you might be able to just do that and like reduce the amount of drawing capacity it needs to do, which may actually make a really huge difference, because the way that Nanite works is it's just like it's turning your viewable distance into like dynamic polygons. And so if you've only got to draw 50% of it, then it only does 50% of the polygons. It might actually really make a significant optimization. That's kind of cool. Apparently the hotkey for the content browser is Control Space. Oh yeah, look at that, it works. Control Space. All right, Ancient World, I'm gonna open it up. It's gonna take a minute, but I put this on my fastest hard drive. So it's an M2 2 terabyte drive. And so when I bought it, I was literally thinking Unreal 5, this will be handy when I get Unreal 5. So here we go, this is it. All that extra money spent for this moment. Let's see if it actually does anything useful. Oh, here we go. Hey, it's working. We got it open. It's not going to be a total fail of a stream after all. Elena says, okay, so they gave me 2 weeks for some reason, but it started last Wednesday and is due this Wednesday coming up. Oh, okay, perfect. So you're just in the start of the week then. Oh, they gave 2 weeks for a weekly drill. That's hilarious. I guess weekly could be interpreted as multiple weeks. Storm, hey Storm. Hey Simon, glad to see exciting stuff with UE5. Yeah, no, that's great. I'm glad you're here. This is an exciting time right now that we get to check out what we got going on with UE5, and it's all its glory. But like I said, or maybe I haven't said it, but what I was implying is that I have not actually done anything more than what I've done right now. So this is as far as I've gotten so far with Unreal 5. So we're gonna see how interesting this is, that I actually spend the next hour and a half here trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. I was watching Will's stream, so I do have a pretty good sense of like some of the fun things you can do. Will is so comfortable with environment stuff, it's crazy. He's just like, oh, we're gonna try this crazy thing with the lights, and we're gonna do this and check the settings over here, and I'm like, wow, man, that's way over my head. But these are all like volumetric clouds up here as well, which is really neat, and they're running really well as well. But what's really different about it, and I don't know if this is exciting to anybody, but Oh wait, I gotta figure out how to do it first. This is the problem with me not knowing what I'm doing. Where's that view for visualize poly? Oh man, I'm stuck already. Where's that cool setting where you get to see all the polygons? I thought it was right down here. Visualize volumetric subsurface. Oh, Luma scene. Luma illumination. Full distance field. I don't know, man. Oh, that's beautiful. So glad I turned that on. I gotta turn it off. Anyways, I gotta figure it out. There's still plenty of stuff to learn here. Storms. Oh wait, I missed my stuff here. Sarah says I felt like the biggest nerd yesterday. I was downloading UE5. I was literally jumping up and down in excitement. That's super nerdy. Way to go. I definitely was excited as well, but I can't say I ever jumped up and down in it. That's pretty good. And you guys are the only people I know that would understand. It's true. It was a pretty exciting day yesterday because even everybody I've talked to so far has all been like, we didn't know this was coming. Like people that are connected to Epic and like know what's going on, they didn't know this was happening. Or at least as far as I know, they didn't know this was happening. Maybe they're just pulling off a really good lie. I don't know. But it was definitely a big shocker. I was even talking to an intake Q&A last week, or yesterday I mean, and I didn't have a clue that they were going to give this away for as a free access. And I was all telling them, oh yeah, we might be able to get exclusive access since we got contacts with Epic. And it turns out, oh geez, everybody has access to it. So it's been pretty shocking. Storm says, yeah, I've been wrapping up my submission for the Rookie Awards. Oh, way to go. And this past month, haven't had much time for anything else. But ready to get back into Unreal Learning. Excellent. Well, that's great. I'm so glad to hear you're entering the Rookies Award. It's a huge thing. I'm so happy to see how many people are submitting right now. You know, they posted in the general channel when they do a submission, and it's just great. So much great work. It really helps our school too get recognized because it shows that, you know, obviously we've got people making cool stuff, and just entering the Rookies Award is a really good learning experience just to see. Gives you a benchmark to work from, kind of gets you a sense of the competition and where you're at, and so all sorts of great stuff. And obviously us amping the award up by having our own internal awards has really helped incentivize, that's not a word, incentivize, I just said the same thing, but anyway, encourage your students to really want to do more. But you haven't had much time, so I'm glad you're going to get back in Unreal. There's tons of fun stuff going on Unreal these days, for sure. Elena says, Will the new instructor... Oh, Will is the new instructor. Yeah, that's right. He's... I've already shadowed him in a Q&A, so he's ready to roll. But he's very much environment lighting kind of artist in Unreal. Definitely one of those like influencer type of level of people. If you watch his YouTube streams or his YouTube channels, I don't know. Somehow I have advertisement music. Oh, here we go. That'd be Twitch. I'm like, where's all that coming from? Where am I here? This is the wrong tab. I wanted to go to... There he is. This guy, if you go to his channel, he's got tons of tutorials, and he's putting out tutorials all the time. So he's actually creating content for us for our second term of technical art course, which is coming out in September for world building. So he's taking on the majority of that particular term, and then he'll be your mentor, or at least someone who is an expert in world building is going to be your mentor for that term. So it's very exciting new course that we've got, which I think is so unique in the industry right now because it's so hard to find these talented people and get them all to work together. So we're going to have like virtual production and world building and technical animation all wrapped up into this course. And Will's an expert at knowing how to do these awesome tutorials, so it's pretty cool that he's helping us make some of this stuff. And then Elena says, I felt like I learned a lot from just putting in my own submission in. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Glad to hear that too. Breaking everything down into words, that makes it easier. Yep. And also gives you a good sense of what you need to be thinking of next time you do a project for Workies. So that you're like, oh, I need to show my work in progress. I need to be able to define what it is I'm doing. And then sort of, you know, you'll get the flow figured out so that the next competition you do, you'll be like ready to roll. Sarah says, what is his YouTube channel? And I think I answered that well before you, well, after I read your comment. There you go. That's what it is. Go ahead and subscribe to him. I'm sure he'll be very happy. Dave says his tutorials are super helpful and clear. Yeah, he's really good at like just breaking it down. He definitely knows what he's talking about. Elena, I've already watched most of his stuff. That's awesome. There you go. Yeah. Have a chat with him on Slack if you want. Just go DM him, and he's a pretty friendly guy. He'll definitely like. It's why he actually joined us, because he actually really likes helping people. So he was enthusiastic to get started, and yeah, like I said, he's already shadowed one of my Q&As, so he's ready to go for taking on classes and intakes, but we don't have the technical artist course ready yet, so it's like, so he's making content for us instead. And Sarah says, got it. Awesome. All right, I don't even know what I'm going to do first. Actually, I did want to mention that we got our skeletal mesh character over here. One of the things with this technology is it doesn't handle anything that's skin. So this character is not going to be using anything special that's different from UE4. So, and except for the big boss character, but that's only because they've got static meshes attached to the skeleton that's moving. So the big boss character has these super high poly meshes, but it's not skinned, and that's the key difference, is that you're not skinning the joints to the high poly meshes, you're actually just attaching it to it. So we're going to talk about, or take a lot of look at that, because it's kind of my area that I'm interested in. And let Will take care of the environment stuff probably more. That is some nice fire effect going on here. See it? I assume that's just your... Oh, it actually looks like a sprite. It's a sprite that is... Oh, it disappears when you get too close. Anyways. Yeah, I really wish I could figure out how to do that perspective where you could change it so you could... Oh, here it is. The anti-visualization. Why couldn't I find that last time? Alright, let's go take a look at this. Mask, triangles. Oh, here's the triangles view. There we go. Never seen this yet, so I'm really curious to know what it looks like. So yeah, each triangle is colored slightly different. But you can see that it's actually, especially as you back up, it's making the triangles less and less and less automatically. So that's removing the whole need to do LODs. So it's just figuring out automatically what the level of detail it needs for texture density based on your screen resolution. Which is so cool. I'm sorry, that's probably really boring for most people, but I was really curious to see that. What else do we have here? Material IDs. Wish I could understand how that makes sense. But material IDs, I guess. Are they sharing? Can we find similarities between the colors, or are they just trying to show that each one's a different one and they're separating them by colors? Light map UVs. Wow. So this is part of the lumen system, I assume. It must be changing maybe the resolution of how the global illumination works dynamically so that it's sized appropriately for the screen space. These are really big and these ones are really tiny. That's kind of neat if that's what's going on there. The lumen thing is really cool. I definitely have not started showing anything like that yet, but it was really cool seeing what Will was doing with it. Oh, it's the overview. That's how you do it. You get to see everything at once. That's much better. Sarah says, so you use a high poly model, but the engine makes it its own LOD. Yeah, it breaks it down from what I know to like, it's becoming like micro LODs. So it's like ripping apart the entire geometry and just showing, like the each one of these squares of colors is a vertex or a poly triangle. So obviously, like this wall is not one giant poly triangle normally, but because it's so far away, they're able to make it as that. So that's why you're able to get really nice speeds, even though there's like a stupidly large amount of polygons going on here, which is pretty cool. And it really is quite a game changer, really. Anyways, that is super cool. I'm just gonna stop doing that though because... Oh wait, how do I go back? Lit? There we go. What is this glowing thing? This would be a nice example of how light sources are changing here. Oh, what do I got here? This is a blueprint. So why am I moving the object, but the object is staying still? That is weird. Oh, I guess what I should do is hit play, and then we can actually watch the whole thing. So I'm gonna hit play. We'll do a playthrough first. Oh yeah, I forgot. When you hit play, it actually loads for a while. So we'll see how my computer does here. This is where I will... Oh, here we go. It's working now. Oh, and we got audio, so I better kill the music. Get the desktop audio going again. So we're gonna see how well this works with me streaming, and for on my poor little computer here. So we do. So we got a little left-click drone. I'm gonna click. Yeah, that was a little choppy. So that was not super smooth. Oh, I should turn on that like frames per second on the side. That would be pretty good. All right, we're in kind of like a special camera view mode, I guess, where we can turbo around, I guess. Wait, shift is turbo. They have acoustics, but it's pretty mild. So a lot of the people were talking about like your frame rates are around 30 frames per second when you're on kind of your bare minimums. But even like Jeremy was trying it, and he has like the fastest computer possible, and he was only getting 40 frames a second. So there's two theories. There is the idea that maybe it's you know, your computer's just, it's giving you as much information as it can to make your computer kind of hit that benchmark of frames per second, or it's just super hard on your computer. Well, I think it's going to be more like, and it's super hard on your computer. Louis says, this is amazing. The future looks so bright. I need a supercomputer. That's right. It won't be that long before everybody's computer is supercomputers compared to what it is today. But yeah, it's, wow, look at that. Hey, you really get in there in the detail there. That's amazing. It's like it's all there. You just gotta get close. But what it really does is really enable artists to like be creative and think creatively rather than think technically. And so I think that's where it's really going to be a game changer. And I mean, it's funny that we're making a technical artist course and then we're like, you don't need to be technical anymore. But you still do, but it's just like it becomes a point where you really have to like look at a bigger picture of how you're making your assets, because like everybody can make amazing things like this. It's no longer the technical hurdle of needing engine programmers and all this stuff to get it to work. You just like, it's more like, what is the story you want to tell and how do you want to tell it? It's crazy. Like, I know I was Will was like doing this all the time through the stream. He's like, "That's amazing! It's amazing!" And I was like, "Ah, come on, it can't be that amazing." But here I am doing the same thing. Hey, Lydia's here. Welcome. Oh, it's nice that you made it to our stream. Excellent. Oh, Sarah says, for 100 gigabytes, you'd want some high detail. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, there's a lot of probably shared assets as well, because every unique pixel asset that you have requires X amount of hard drive space. So you're going to want to reuse assets like crazy, but it still ends up being 100 gigabytes. And I think that's an interesting conversation to have for sure, because you know, everything is using the same type of environment. Like, it's all the same type of rocks. So there's a ton of sharing happening here, and it's still 100 gigabytes. And I think John was talking about this too, John Robinson. He was saying, you know, it's great and all, but how functional is that realistically for to be able to ship a game with? I mean, it's not like all of a sudden everybody's consoles and computers have infinite hard drive space to handle massively amazing games. So this might still be a very niche, you know, virtual production, film production kind of pipeline for a while, until we finally get to our point where our hardware is able to everyday hardware is able to keep up with it. Lydia, wow, this looks good. Yeah, I agree. I'm in the same boat as you right now. Sarah says, so glad I'm not the only super nerd. Yes, that's right. We're all super nerds. Hey, JD Smith is here. Rocks and dirt is cool. But can you fully animate characters? Exactly. No, that's the answer. Yeah, you can't do anything with nanite with skeletal meshes yet. I mean, unless they come up with some amazing way to deal with that. But it was really the big conversation we had as well today, where it's like, well, you have infinite polygons, but not when it comes to animating skeletal meshes, because you just can't realistically skin an infinite mesh and expect it to perform. It doesn't. The cost is telling the verts to move, not necessarily drawing them on the screen. That's my wait. It's just, yeah, not quite. I mean, I don't know. Unreal comes up with magic every day, so who knows? Maybe they'll be like, "Hey, we figured it out." And then all of a sudden you're like, "Whoa, that's crazy! Can't believe that's possible." There says MetaHuman works in it. Yes, well, MetaHuman has a really good LOD system, and they do work in it because they're just skeletal meshes that are skinned to regular size polygon geometry. But we're not talking like, you know, if you do a full body scan of a human that's like 1 million, 2 million polys, and then you like skin a skeleton to it, it's not necessarily going to be like as optimal in the engine as it is with static meshes, because it's also got to say, as you rotate this joint, move 500,000 polygons up, and then as you do this, move 500,000 polys over here. Like, that's a lot more complicated to for a processor to figure out. And I mean, these computers already are pushed to the limit right now. I mean, just to run this, you know, you got the supercomputer and it's running at 40 frames a second. You know, to pile on all this extra stuff is gonna put it over the edge. How do I start the actual game? Oh, here we go. No, I did it again. How do I start the actual game? Am I missing something? Is it the zoo or something I'm supposed to do? Oh man, I didn't expect to get stuck on how to actually play it. Anybody know? Let's try this Megascans Asset Zoo, just for the sake of doing it. Oh, and there's a whole thing about the world that I have to learn about still. I'm gonna get back to. Oh yeah, it's just a zoo of different assets. So I guess, I wonder if this is all the assets they're using in the entire project. These are the assets that are taking up 100 gigabytes. Take a look here. Got lots of rocks and dirt. Omid. If you hit X, it cancels the Skycam, and you can continue playing it. or a left click. I can't recall. Okay, yeah, I was almost there. Thanks for that, by the way. I'm gonna try it out. Because didn't give me any direct instructions except for how to fly around, but I just want to like get it so that we can go through the gameplay that they have. These are all Quixel assets that you can get for free as well, as far as I'm, unless they're exclusive, I don't know, but all Quixel assets are free. And here's some, oh, this is so cool. This is definitely a good vision of how the lumens is working, where we're getting this really cool bounce light. It's all like lit up on the bottom, but not the top. That's because our world is dark, but the ground is really bright. And that's all happening dynamically. It's like, it's actually baking the light, but it's baking it dynamically, which is saving us from having to do all that crazy hard, complicated light baking techniques and workflows. You just put it in, and it just makes it look good. It's awesome. Jay Smith, job ads be like Unreal 5 developer with 5 years experience. Yeah, expect that in the application job opportunities that are coming up tomorrow, because it's like we need an expert right now, somebody with 5 years experience only. Sarah, I use some of these rocks in my game. Ah, there you go. You recognize them. Nice. And Storm says, just reminded me of that Shot documentary about when Andy Gavin was solving how to use 1/3 of the memory on animating just the crash into character. Oh yeah, there you go. There's an extreme. Can't wait for the next leap of character animation with high poly animations. Yeah, I agree. Well, from my experience with character animation, it's always been the more high poly it is, harder it is to work with. It just gets harder and harder. Like, the more room for error. So you get like super high poly character, now you've got like tons of problems with your skinning, and everything looks like it's broken. And then you got to like really work on like what is moving, what isn't moving, and it just gets more and more and more difficult. So not only would you need higher poly mesh computing power, but you'd also need smarter algorithms to be able to figure out how you're going to skin it in a way that looks photoreal. And you know, if that includes like corrective blend shapes and all this other stuff, it just compounds, because now your eye is even more honed in on what's wrong, and that uncanny valley really becomes prominent. J. Smith, heavy rigs and lag are pointless to animate. Yeah, that's right. And I think that's a really interesting point as well about, you know, how is an animator going to be working with it? Like, it becomes useless in Maya. Maya is not known for its optimal, you know, ability to handle high poly meshes like Unreal can. And so then you're talking about, well, can you use a control rig in Unreal or something? But you know, as much as I want that to be a reality, it's still a long way from actually being a pipeline that's going to be workable, from my experience. All right, so what was the instructions I had here? Hit X. Hit X cancels. You can continue playing it. So I left clicked and I come here. I'm doing this. I hit X, I go back. Oh, here we go. Oh, it tells me what to do. It says right there, push up to move. I get it now. I don't read very well. Reading isn't my well-known skill set. Okay, so I'm probably supposed to go to this purple thing, eh? Oh yeah, so we gotta take a look at what's going on here with this awesome like walk stop thing. The fact that the character is reacting to the environment very accurately. Man, it's just, I don't know, there's so much learning on that front alone. We're gonna see how, you know, hopefully we'll get to that today. All right, here we're gonna hit E to interact. This is my first time entering the Dark World, so it's gonna take a while. Assets are being processed in the background. We'll see how long. First, take our stopwatch out. Figure out how long this is gonna take. But yeah, there's lots of interesting animation stuff that I'm really curious about, and I know it's going to be really silly. I'm going to be going through it going, what the heck is going on here? But I'm really curious to see what happens there. Preparing textures. It's coming. J. Smith says, the power of Unreal. Whoa, here we go. It just showed up. Power of Unreal, and they plop a character in a desert without a jug of water. What's wrong with Epic Games? That's just cruelty, you know? They should have at least gave them water. Oh, here we go. So we're still at the campfire place. I didn't realize that. Fire's gone out. So Will spent a lot of time trying to figure out how these clouds are working, because they're moving, which is pretty cool, especially if they were volumetric clouds. But then he found out they're not volumetric clouds. They're just, it's just a fancy sky sphere. I guess they're image planes, or maybe just a image thing. But you can change the settings on them and stuff. But they're not like the volumetric clouds that they look like they are. From what he discovered, I don't know. As if I can tell. They look awesome. That's all I know. Oh, let's do a walk. Looks better. Hey, you got wind. It's changing direction. That cloth. It's nice. And there's all this like misty, foggy stuff coming off the ground, which is really nice. Like, I don't know what to say about it, but it looks pretty cool. A really nice feel to it. Really changes the scenery. Nihad. Hi Simon, which skills you recommend to work on to do cinematics and land a job in that regard? My background is filmmaking, and I am using Unreal since almost a year now. Well, your background is in filmmaking. Oh, there you go. So virtual production would be your answer, I'm pretty sure. Because if it was animation, then I'd be like, okay, well, let's talk about using sequencer and getting comfortable with that. I guess that still is the answer, to use sequencer. Oh, I'm supposed to shoot something, I think. Hopefully the audio isn't super loud right now. Let's see if I can hit F8. Pop out for a sec here. And make the background noise not quite so intense here. Hit F8 to go back in again. But yeah, so we're making a virtual production course specifically for people to who have like that filmmaking background. Deepak works at is one of our mentors at CG Spectrum, and he's like sort of our guy who's got a lot of experience in that area. And he also, same story, he's just like, he knows about cameras, he knows about composition and lighting and getting the scene set up. And so his perspective in Unreal is like, you know, working with sequencer to build shots, color correct, and just using existing assets to compose stuff and tell a story. So that's what part of our technical artist course we're offering is going to cover that element. But it's like it's definitely a big thing in Unreal, especially with technology like this in UE5. I mean, we're going to see a lot more of usage in the film department. I didn't hit the right thing. What am I supposed to be hitting here? All right, got it. It does look awesome. I totally agree. That cloth video. Yeah, see, we were talking about cloth in our open session. Now we got to figure out how do we. We should take a look and see how they did that cloth. All right, so here's a cool jump sequence that happens. That's all done through this fancy, very fancy technology of determining how big the jump needs to be and making sure the hand touches the mesh and stuff. Although, I must admit, when I first watched this in the video, I was kind of like, that looked a little gamey. Like, it didn't feel that natural. But but I do appreciate how hard it is. JD Smith, whoa, what? Virtual production class? This is great. There is a major lack of information when it comes to compositing, integrating real footage in Unreal. Well, that is true, actually. You're right. At least there was 5 months ago, yeah. Well, it's funny because we have our meetings as we actually have them just like a few hours before the stream, about how to do like the technical artist course, and the whole world in virtual production is changing so rapidly. Like, nobody can find anybody available to do that work because it's all like they're busy working somewhere, and everybody has their own pipeline because it's so new and everybody's kind of trying to invent the solution. There isn't really a standardization of what a pipeline is. So it's kind of in this weird mode right now where it's hard to teach because there isn't any particular way to do it, and anybody who's really actively working might have a different opinion about how to do it compared to someone else. But it just goes to show, if you are a technical person doing virtual production, your odds of being employed are very high because there's lots of demand and nobody around who knows how to do it. So it's well worth getting into. And it's actually, I think, going to be one of our main selling features. What am I supposed to shoot here? There we go. It's one of our main selling features for the tech artist, is the fact that we're, virtual production is one of the terms. World building is also one of the terms, and that's also really a big deal, but virtual production is pretty interesting right now. All right, here we go. Yeah, that was pretty choppy on my end. It's working, but it's choppy. I wish I could do that fancy jump and roll, but I don't know how to do it. What happens if I get hit? Oh. You can't get hit. They just get out of the way for you. Alright, let's I gotta get the shoulder first. I don't know that. Here's those really high polystatic meshes that are attached to the skeletal mesh. Somewhat of a glass shader there going on. Not sure what I'm supposed to do now. I thought it would just fade out at that point. Wait, what did that say? Kind of interesting that, like, if you hit a wall, instead of like standing still, you just sort of like freeze frame. You're just locked into a very slow run before you stop. I don't know if that's a bad thing, but I guess the idea is you just hit escape after this. I don't know. They just let you kind of look around for a little while. Alright, I'll hit escape then. Yeah, that was a little choppy, but it looked pretty stunning. I mean, I'm not sure if it's choppy because I'm doing the stream at the same time or not, but it definitely got into some interesting elements there. Where am I now? Did I get put back to where I started? I think so. Alright, so let's try to figure some stuff out here. One of the cool things that is very big about Unreal 5 is how they load up levels. So we used to have it so that each level was kind of like an asset, but now it's much more dynamic than that. So I gotta figure out how to do that though. I really don't understand how Will had this cool level map thing showing. Let's go to window, see what we can find here. Hierarchy, LOD, outliner, levels. Oh, there is levels. Interesting. Place actor, world partition. Ah, here we go. So, from what I understood, is you just take a block, and then you can right click on them, and you can ask to load them. And they will bring those cells in to your into your RAM. This is probably why you need 64 gigs of RAM. Sorry for the bad puns. It puts a really high load on your disk. It's much worse if you don't have an SSD. Ah, yeah. And this is, yeah, this is big. I mean, this is definitely UE5's new problem, where it's all about how fast can you pull and push data onto your computer. I am running all this on an M2, so I'm hoping that I'm going to see some performance results because, like I said earlier, this is really the reason why I bought the M2, was because I'm like, well, one day when I get UE5, let's see if I can zip around this level a little faster here. Yeah, so I don't know. It's not a question of can my GPU draw it? It's a question of can my hard drive and RAM fit all this stuff in there? This is a really big map, isn't it? Holy cow. I mean, look how far away that is. Can we just grab this one over here and load it? Or maybe we'll do the corner one. See how far away that looks. Oh, can't grab the corner one. Isn't that interesting? Can't grab any of the side ones. Can't grab any of those ones. What the? That's really weird. I don't know. Anyways, we'll grab these ones. Maybe I'll be able to see how far that is. Where am I looking? Over there? Oh, I can't see them. I don't know. It's very far away, I'm gonna say. Elena, well, Simon, I'm gonna have to get going, but thanks for the interesting stream. Have a good day, guys. All right, see you, Elena. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate the hello. Sarah says, "Oh, it tells you the size of the map. That is cool." Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how to make this map or anything, so like, what? How does this work? Now they've switched all the tools so that they're in different places now. But I wonder if when you go to the landscape creation, that it would be part of the process of how you're building this. Like, but these are like individual assets from what I know. Hey, what's this down here? Oh, that's the landscape I'm just making now. That's actually interesting. Can I select those individual assets even though they're really far away? Yeah, I can. So can I pick this guy? Zoom over here. But where am I now on this map? Hey map, where are we? Oh no, what have I done? There's my guy over there. Oh, I'm way off the map right now. How is that possible? Yeah, I don't have a clue what's going on. This doesn't make any sense. How is it possible that I'm picking an object outside of the map range? These must be just like distance meshes, just for like the sake of looking like they're far away. So the actual terrain I'm looking for is much more contained, I guess. Wow, I really need to go a lot faster than this. Let's go and use the fancy scroll wheel technique here. This is where you hold W to move forward, you hold right click, and then you hold W to move forward. And then if you roll your scroll wheel, you can move slowly or you can move really fast. It's a nice way to get around in the world, apparently. I didn't know about this. I was actually Will that taught me this. I didn't really realize this was a good way to move around, and then when I learned about it, I'm like, wow, yeah, this is so much better than me trying to like pan around manually. What do we got here? Oh, this is the back end of a cave. Apparently Will did find a cave somewhere. Or he's doing some lighting tests. I'm so lost. Where the heck am I supposed to be? See, this doesn't make any sense. Let me go do a test here. Here I am in a part of the landscape that hasn't been loaded, and yet it clearly looks like it's loaded. So what if I take this square and I load it? Does it look any different? No. It doesn't look any different. So what the heck is this loading, unloading all about anyways? I don't know. Oh, you can move camera there. It doesn't change. I don't understand. It doesn't mean anything. Alright, let's get back to the main part here. Oh, what's going on here? Is part of the main part? Where was the starting section? These blocking volumes are in here? Alright, I'm gonna go to the world outliner. Let's see if we can find a character that we can... Nice boulders. This is all inside of the campfire. Drone blocking volumes. Oh, it's where it stops the drone as, you know, when you go in that mode where you can fly around. It stops you from going over there. Orphan campfire replace. Campfire cinematic cameras. Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, here we go. Whoa. Getting all kinds of crazy stuff. That makes me concerned about the life of my video card. Like, is my video card overheating over there? Jeez, I hope not. It only seems to happen when I'm in that zone, though. I don't know what that means. Let's hit G for game mode. Oh yeah. That seems to be the effect there. Still in super fast camera speed here. Turn that down. We got some cinematic cameras here. Interesting. I wonder what they're being used for. I guess that's the one that you see when you first play. I'm not sure what this one's for. What else we got in here? That's a lot of cinematic cameras. Oh, look at that. They're actually like nice angles. Interesting. Oh wow, where's that one? Where are we? Ooh, we're in a cave. Oh, we're inside of a dark area. Oh yeah, so one of the tricks to change the lighting is Control L. And then you just move your mouse. And because it's all fancy lumen lighting, you can get to see the results right away, which is very spectacular. You can see that reflective light change. That is so cool. What's funny is like you spend so many years struggling to get that effect in a renderer. Like you're just like, this is, you know, my entire career it's always been like, all right, how do we get that light reflection? You gotta do bounce lighting, and how do we get the effect to look like that? And it's like, oh, you just change the light and then it just turns on. You don't have to do anything. There's no actual settings required or anything. That is so nice too. What's kind of neat is when you move the light really dark, like nighttime, it actually does really go dark. Like you can see, it's just that one main light source that's coming in here. And the way that it takes a minute for that light to kind of show the reflection, it's like it's literally baking the light source, doing the calculation of the bounce lights, and like doing the global illumination on the fly. Is it actually works very naturally, very organically, because you know it's almost like your eyes are just adjusting to the light. But I guess the downside is like if you take the light away right away, it's like, whoa, it's still illuminated, but it's still disappearing. However, that might be just because of my processing speed. Maybe if I had a really fast computer, that would just disappear quicker because it would just be able to do the illumination quicker. That is so neat though. Definitely enjoying that. And what was I gonna do? That was the ah shoot, what was I just about to do? I was gonna go check something out. Oh, speaking of lights, one thing that Will talked about today that he thought was super exciting was that if you have an asset that has emissiveness, it will produce a light source now, dynamically. In an Unreal 4, an emissive material would never produce a light, but if you put it on a static mesh and you hit a certain checkbox, you could get an emissive light to produce light in a light bake. But now, it just acts like a light source. So let's try that out, because I'm pretty curious to see what that looks like. That'll be kind of fun. So we'll create a material. And, I mean, I guess we should give it a base color of white or something. Or it doesn't even matter what we do, but. And then we'll make an emissive of like 10. So that it sort of glows a little bit. And then we'll take that. Oh, we gotta put it on something. Oh, this is good. Let's go figure out how to. Alright, so I'm gonna drag this up here. One of the tutorials talked about how the file and edit is now above the tabs, which is kind of interesting that they've decided to do it that way. But it's probably better because you get more of a horizontal range. I don't know. It's interesting. All right, let's see if we can figure out how to open up the create menu again. Oh, I thought it was supposed to be on the side. Well, here we go. Here's our create. We're gonna build a sphere, and we're gonna assign it that material. Which is supposed to be glowing. Let's just take another look at that material for a second here. Did I forget to apply it? Oh, there's my apply. They got rid of all the colors for the buttons. There we go. Now we got a glowing ball. That's so cool. That just worked beautifully. Oh man, that is so neat. So it's not even a light source, it's just emissiveness. So if you had an object that was like all got fancy emissive colors and stuff, or even just like a character or skeletal mesh that has an arm that's glowing red, I mean, he'd be walking through this cave and the arm would be casting all this light everywhere. It's really cool. It's interesting also to see the slight shadowing effect. I'm sure there's a better word for it, but like the hesitation of the light, where it moves, but there's like a little bit of a trace of light that gets sort of trapped everywhere. Doesn't really look too bad, but it would definitely be a noticeable feature or not feature of Unreal 5, is that you've always got this effect that's kind of hesitating. Sort of a giveaway. Oh, and look, you can actually see the area that it didn't render the global illumination. Well, it's not that bad, but let's see if we scale it up. Wow, we scale that sphere up and it gets a lot brighter. Cool. Yeah, I really feel like there's a lot of interesting things to do with that. Okay, so what else can we talk about? Some of the things that I noticed Will was talking about was depth of field. That didn't seem to work out very well for him. Like, it works, but it's got a bit blurry. Oh, and reflections was another one. So like we can turn this, well, maybe we'll make another material. Apparently the reflections is not done with ray trace unless you deliberately set it at ray trace. It's actually done with the lumens tool, and it's a little bit, it's not as crisp as ray trace would be. So we're gonna do metallic 1. This is how Will was doing the reflection as well, so I'm just stealing his idea here. Roughness of 0. The base color has to be white. Oh shoot, what am I missing here? Oh, roughness of 0. 1. There we go. Alright, I feel like I want to keep this sphere here. Maybe we'll do a different shape. We'll create a... Oh, and the other interesting thing that I saw in the tutorial is they get rid of BSP brushes, which, I mean, I don't know if anyone really cares, but BSP brushes has been a thing with Unreal ever since, like, its early days, like its original version in the 90s. And they still have something that is like BSP brushes, and I forget what it is, but but they're getting rid of all BSP brushes. Is it volumes, or I forget what they replaced it with? Is it just shapes? I don't know. Now I'm interested and confused. Like, are these? Oh, I made 2 of them. Are these? I thought they were just static meshes. Oh yeah, these are just static meshes. I wonder how you make those other ones. Oh, what are these? Oh, these are all classes. Oh, here we go. Oh, those are recently placed. Volumes. I don't know. I'll have to look into it again. Figure out what it was that they created that was not BSP brushes. Oh, I know. It was a tool over here. That's what it was. Modeling tools. Here we go. Now, this was pretty cool because I'm like, I'm not sure what this means yet or where it goes, but I'm like, is this... Because they were talking years ago, well, not that many years ago, but a couple years ago, that they were building a modeling tool in Unreal, and it was like, they were going to do sculpting and have the ability to actually model. It was kind of like this concept of, geez, are they trying to like tap into the whole modeling world, just like they're tapping into like the control rig animation thing, but they're also trying to do a replacement for sculpting. And so, but I never saw really anything happen from that since, but here it is. So maybe that's where this is going. So there's a lot of exploring to do in this area as well. Because I'm seeing here, I don't know if this says sculpt or script, but it looks like they've got all these tool sets ready to go. So there's a lot to figure out. Like, what does it do? And then when you figure out what does it do, then you have to figure out how good does it do it? I can't even figure out how to make one. Oh, wait, how does it go again? You're supposed to hold Control or Shift or something. He said it in the tutorial. We got Dwunky Pengi. Wow, that's a interesting name. The modeling tools are great for level blockouts. Oh, excellent. Yeah, well, level blockouts for sure. I mean, that's what BSP Brush was known for too, but it was a bit clumsy to use, because it's just, if you're trying to do anything that's related to textures, or you get into this whole like, are you subtracting a volume or are you adding a volume, and then is it hierarchy subtracting from the adding, and then what order is it? So I can kind of see why they wanted to get rid of it and then replace it with this. But it's possible that you might be working in a tool, like, looks like we've got sub Ds and stuff, that is very capable of doing a full model. And if you're using Nanite as your drawing ability, then you're not really worried about how many polygons you're using, because it will still be able to draw it in a way that is compatible. So it might have a really interesting edge on a lot of the competition. Plus you get to see it with all the correct textures and stuff, which would be really cool. Yeah, BSPs were really always clunky. The modeling tools are pretty nice. Cool. Can you tell me how to create a box? I can't figure out how to do it. What do you gotta do? You have a box. It says I'm creating them. Oh, they make them at the origin. That's what it was. So I've probably made a whole bunch of them in the wrong place. How do I make them so that they're right here? Oh, here we go. I just made one. How did I do that? Oh, it's making it to the mesh. Oh, that is even weirder. I didn't expect that at all. Just click complete and you'll have one in your scene. Okay, so that finishes the process of making it. Okay. I just remember in the tutorial they were talking about how if you do it in a certain way, it'll make it at the origin of the world. So I'm assuming, but I don't see it in my list here, so maybe they're not. Maybe it's just these three that I've made. Oh wait, how far away is this one? Maybe really far away. There it is. Sub D. Oh yeah. Okay, I see the sub D, but can you pick the vertexes on it and stuff, or what? Subdivisions. Is there like a whole modeling tool set that I'm supposed to be using? Quick settings. Whoa, look at all this other stuff down here. UVs? Oh. What's this? BSB conversion. Well, that is interesting. Does that mean you can import BSPs into the Unreal 5? Probably. Generate a helmet mesh for selected groom. Edit hair cards. Oh. I have no idea what that means. Inspect physics geometry. Convert selected meshes to simple collision geometry. Okay. So you can model out your blocking volume, I guess. Bake scale rotation. Draw extrude polygons to create new static mesh assets. Huh? Oh, look, I'm drawing something. Did I just draw it? Whoa, I drew it really far away. Oh no, what did I just delete here? What have I done? I don't want to complete it. Alright, I'll complete it. I don't know what I just did. This is like the worst scene to be testing. It's like there's only 3,000 assets in my scene. I'm like, what did I just do? Where did it go? All I wanted to do was test out this reflection, which I'm not sure where I'm going to go with it after that. But anyway, we'll just continue that process here. Let's just see if we can apply a reflection to this new mesh that we created. Change this to, oh, that's a static mesh. Oh, weird, you can change the static mesh of it as soon as you make it. Interesting. There's our reflection asset. Scale it up. So yeah, the issue that, or the concern was that the reflection assets look a little bit weird. Wow, look at the pivots right on the edge of the sphere there. And that's apparently being drawn by the lumens source, so even though it's physically accurate, it which is an improvement from like you know, just a spherical capture, it definitely wouldn't be like your crisp high-res replacement without turning on ray tracing. Bennett Freeman, hi. I'm going to count polygons. 1, 2, 3. What? Oh, you mean on the background mesh? Okay, I think I'm getting that now. So we're up to 3. There might be, maybe, I don't know, a billion or so. You'll get there eventually. Timmy the Nobody. Hello, hello, welcome. Oh my goodness, Benetto. Are you making? That's actually my real name. Benito. What, you mean when I said it first, I said it right? I probably ruined it after I said it right the first time. This is the problem with streams, is that I sabotage everybody's names and nobody can correct me because they don't know how to tell me when I've got it wrong. They just laugh at me and go, that was the worst pronunciation of my name ever. Yes, you did. I'm the first one. That's awesome. Well, I'm probably not going to be able to do it again, but thank you. I appreciate your your acknowledging the moment there before I screw it up. Timmy, I got it right. All right. So, what are we going to do now? Talking about lights. There's lots. Oh, look at this. I got Timmy's following me. Thank you, Timmy. Following us. I shouldn't say me. Us, the school. Hey, and now we got Benito. Benito. I'm gonna act like I just said it right, and we're gonna go with that. So what I'm gonna try to do is play with some spotlights and see what they look like, because we're in this dark cave and we've got some glowing spheres and shapes and stuff. I think I can get rid of these guys, and we're gonna put it in. Andre, you pronounced the name so well. They just wanted to follow you. See, this is all you gotta do. Just pronounce their names right. That's the trick of the internet. I've learned it now. So this is a dev team channel. This is, that's interesting. It's kind of a dev team channel. It's sort of like a us learning together. Yeah, so you could totally say that. It's me learning mostly, and then you guys are just watching me. Lydia, hey! Got a smile out of that. But yeah, so the idea is like we offer these courses at CG Spectrum that, you know, talk about Unreal, and we cover like learning how to use Unreal and go through the stages. But my streams are a great opportunity for me to just keep R&Ding and learning some more. So I usually spend these streams just kind of trying out ideas that I've always kind of wanted to look at. But luckily, because Unreal comes up with these massive surprises out of nowhere, I get to do these fun ones where I'm like, hey, there's a brand new tool that showed up out of nowhere. Let's go see what it does. And that it makes it really easy for me to kill 2 hours. Since I was going to be doing this anyway, might as well do it with everybody else. But if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to shout out. I'm happy to help out. Last week we did a little playthrough of one of the students' pieces of Unreal, and this week I said I was going to do it for another student, but I kind of felt a little bad about like trying to show his work right after I showed Unreal 5, so I think I might just avoid that. Plus I've only got 30 minutes left, so and next week we're gonna have Will Faucheur, he's one of our mentors, but he also has his own YouTube channel, and he has agreed to join me next week, but the stream will actually happen like 6 hours earlier than it does now, but on the same day of the week. And just because he's in Europe and he can't really hit the time at this hour. But he's going to join us and have a chat. We don't really have a clear idea what we're going to do, but we're just going to chat. Probably about Unreal 5, because it's kind of the hot thing to talk about right now. But he might actually be able to teach me some stuff, because he's really good with lighting and environment. And it's not necessarily the area that I'm super good at. Lydia says, that's cool. Oh, the reflections looks very strange, to be honest. It does look very strange. And it's the lumens is actually the creating it. So it's a little different than UE4. It's using different technology. But I guess if you're looking at from a form of, you know, it's just a subtle reflection over top of another material where you can't really specifically see it like razor sharp like this, it would give you the lights in the reflection in the shadows in the right places, which would be really useful. But in this case, if you're using an RTX card, you could turn on ray trace reflections and get a nice crisp clean reflection. I just don't know how to do that, so if I'm lucky enough, I'll find a checkbox that says use ray trace reflections, but I've known from the past it's always been really difficult to do. Benito says, okay, I explained. Benito is Spanish. It is Benito. Bennett is French. Both are good. But my real name is the Spanish one. No one cares, but I'm happy anyways. My English is bad, sorry for that. Benito. I may have known someone named Benito. Is it maybe why I was trying to say it in the first place? Sarah says, are you for sure? Are you for sure? Are you for sure? Sorry. For sure. Oh, for sure. For sure. If that's not the Frenchest name I've ever heard. That's right. And when I asked him today, because I had to ask him today what his last name is, because I was very insecure, because I don't know, I think one stream I said something totally way off. Anyways, as usual. And so I had to ask him, and he said it's for sure, it's French. So there you go. Vive la France. France. Audrey. Audrey is French, so she will very carefully correct me when I'm wrong. Timmy says, so this is the fake CPU handling ray tracing thing. That's correct. Although Unreal 4 did do it differently with different processing. This is new technology. But yeah, it's not ray tracing. And I will be able to maybe one day show you what ray tracing looks like. Maybe when Will is here. Audrey's Benito, I'm so happy that you like my country. Oh my goodness, now we're speaking French. I can't, I'm not gonna try and act like I have the way to pronounce French. Even though I should, because I've taken 9 years of French school. I translate, I don't have choice. I like France. Oh yeah, because you're right next to them. Jade. What do they say? Stay close to your enemies. Keep your enemies close. Or keep your friends close, keep your enemies even closer. Audrey, no, don't worry. French is hard. You're doing great. Ah. Timmy says, it's very impressive, though, even if it's not perfect yet. Yeah, I agree. I think this is a pretty useful tool, especially if it's running really cheap, like in terms of the actual processing power. You're not utilizing extra power from the RTX processing of ray trace. You can just be like, I don't need that. I can just let it do the lumens thing and then let the RTX handle something that maybe is more important somewhere else. So I can see that being useful. Oh my goodness. Bonjour les Français. I think we're all living in France here. French people like your stream at CG Spectrum. That's right. I'm not sure why that is. I'm not exactly doing much. Timmy, true. Do you know if it looks better once compiled? Once compiled? No, it's not going to be compiled. In fact, the concept of building lighting is now gone out the window. Although they do still have build lighting only, so I'm not sure how that works exactly, but maybe it's because if you're bringing in a UE4 project that was using a different system, you still need to bake lighting. I don't know. But the whole concept here is that there's no bake lighting going on. So compiled, though, if you're talking about packaging it, I don't expect it to look any different. This is all supposed to be running real time here. But there might be a setting that maybe like enables higher resolution like quality. Maybe there's a setting somewhere that can modify that. That would, I guess, be in the material. Maybe. Maybe not, though. Not sure if there's a way that... Oh. Cast ray trace shadows. Two-sided. I'm pretty sure with ray tracing, it's... Anyway, in U4, it's really complicated. You have to like go through all these check boxes and switch all this stuff. And I've never got my head around it. I did it once, and then I was like, wow, I don't understand what was going on there. So for me just to quickly enable it sounds kind of unrealistic, but I'm pretty sure Will was doing it in his stream, and it was looking nice and crisp. Audrey, I'm the trader. I'm the expat here. Yeah, Audrey's in Toronto, so she's totally not in France anymore. So, I don't know. Although she is in Canada, so you can't really say she's that far away from French-speaking people. Audrey, yes, and Timmy, too. We're truly everywhere. Taking over the world. Sorry for the bad puns. Lumen can be turned off if you don't want to use it. Oh, see, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's why baked lighting is still a thing. Gotcha. That makes sense. I wonder how you turn it off. Is it in like the world settings or something? Not that I really want to, but I'm just curious. Whoa. Trying to recognize anything that's different. I don't know. Initio says chocolatins and baguettes for everyone. Chocolatins? What is that? I invite to you all. No, no, no. That's funny. It doesn't exist. It's a lie. It's not a null value? Nil value? I don't even get that joke. You guys just said a joke and y'all got it, and I don't know what you're talking about. Well, let's see here. What else can we do? We've got 20 minutes. Oh, we haven't looked at any animation stuff yet. Oh, geez, let's get over there. That's what we gotta do. That's the only area that I actually might know what I'm talking about. And then you're gonna find out quickly that, no, I still don't know what I'm talking about. How do I turn that off? Just close modeling? Okay, there we go. Let's go see if we can find some animation stuff in here. Oh, I just compiled the CQC. I was like, what does this button do here? Shoot. Let's cancel that. Alright, good. I think I do have Visual Studio installed, but I don't want to get into that right now. I'm looking for a button that lets me turn off all the... I think this is all engine content in here, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's all part of the main... It's all C++ classes. Okay, maybe that is what that is. Options are in project settings here and see here. Here and see here. Oh, okay. Project settings. For lumens. Dynamic global illumination method. Screen space ray trace depreciated. Ray trace global illumination technique depreciated. Use lumen global illumination instead. Screen space beta standalone screen space global illumination. Low cost but limited by screen space information. Oh, that's cool. So if you're just doing like a single shot, maybe. I haven't really got a clue where I'm looking. This is engine rendering. It sure does seem like the right place. Let's do ray trace. Software ray tracing mode, detailed global tracing, support hardware ray tracing. I feel like if I click this button, I'm gonna be like kicking myself as we load some crazy stuff. Adrius, the battle of the century for the French person. Chocolatine versus plain au chocolate. Which will win? Okay. Well, that definitely helped explain it a little better. I can't explain this joke. My English is trash. Chocolatine rules. It must be another version of chocolate. Alright. Well, I will put that in my head and remember it. I'm going to turn this on and see what happens. Restart requires apply setting. Retracing shadows. I don't care about that so much. But if I am turning it on, why am I turning it on? Just so I can have textures? Oh well, I'm going to do it, guys. Let's see what happens here. Don't want to save anything. If this requires massive amount of shader compiling, which I don't know why we'd be shader. Well, maybe we're compiling shaders. Here we go. Massive amount of shader compiling happening right now. 900. Although that's not too scary of a number. But it's only at 45%. Chocolate bread. The southern part of France calls it chocolatine. Oh, it's chocolate bread. The right one calls it plain au chocolate. Plain au chocolate. Chocolate bread, eh? I'm assuming chocolate bread doesn't taste the same as chocolate cake. It's like a bread chocolate. Otherwise, I don't even know. That's kind of weird. 200 shaders left to go. We're getting there. It should work. Unless, of course, the next thing it says is 20,000 compiled shaders required. And then I'll be like, why did I do this? 54. It's the same texture as a croissant, but rectangular with chocolate inside. Oh my goodness. I think I know what you're talking about. We'll get there. Oh no, it did go up to 100. All right, we're down to 73 now. Oh, please don't just keep doing this loop where you're going more and less and more and less and more and less. It is 54. Oh, here we go, 70%. We just made a massive update of compiling shaders. Now we're at 4,900. Man, I'm gonna have to think of something else to do while I'm waiting for this to finish. Didn't even get to my animation part. Riz says, hey Riz, welcome. I'm animating 2 characters walking. All right. Thanks for giving your update, Riz. What do your characters, what are they doing walking? Are you animating that with, or is that motion capture? Lydia, time to go, very late here. Thanks for the stream, chocolate bread, very yummy. Yeah, Lydia, you probably is very late over there. Thanks for being around. I'm sure you're not gonna miss anything in the next 15 minutes, especially if I'm sitting here waiting for 4,500 shaders to compile. I may have to come up with a backup plan. But anyway, I appreciate that you showed up. This is all recorded anyways, if you did want to catch up with what you missed. But, and then next week will be a lot earlier. You don't have to stay up so late. Okay, I think what I might do, because this is going to take way longer than I expected. Well, I don't know if it's what I expected. I'm going to try and open it. I may have really put myself in a tough spot here, haven't I? Because if the if I've changed the settings, if I try to open it up again, it's just trying to use ray trace again. I may have really put myself in a tough spot. Ray tracing true. Alright, let's try this. Initializing! There we go. Look at that. Hacked my way back in again. Alright, don't do enable ray tracing unless you know what you're doing. It filled with all kinds of chaos. Bye Lydia, stay safe, sleep tight. Yeah, Choco Bread is the win for the win. Chris says, do you have any a YouTube channel? Do I have a YouTube channel? My YouTube channel is CG Spectrum. That's where this is coming from. If you go to CG Spectrum's page, you can find out all the videos. We got all kinds of streams from all sorts of different mentors in different departments every week. Tons of stuff. But I'm the only one that does Unreal. So we're doing Unreal 5 today. And I luckily managed to just rescue myself from a terrible decision of turning on ray tracing. And so we're gonna go check out some animation stuff. So it's kind of a good time you tuned in, Riz. We're gonna check out what kind of stuff they've got set up for the characters, and maybe find out what the boss character is all about. Here's the animation blueprint for the main character. We've only got 12 minutes left, so it's not going to be a super long amount of time to handle. So I'm going to try to tough my way through this as fast as I can. Here's our sitting idol. Oh yeah, she's blinking and everything. Cool, that's pretty good. Alright, let's see if we can figure this out. Looks like they put the tabs in as kind of different content here. These are asset brand. This is the launch over the vault montage. They had something interesting they talked about as root motion animation was being integrated in a new way. And I gotta figure out what the heck they were talking about there. Root motion is really neat, especially as a bonus for animators, because it means that you can just animate, and how you move the character means it's going to drive the character like that in the gameplay. But it's always been really restrictive when it comes to like actually trying to implement it, especially for AI, because it's just really hard to get root motion to work for AI. So if they have some new feature for that in Unreal 5 to be able to handle root motion much more flexible in a much more flexible manner, I can see that being really handy and interesting. So you can drive a lot of motion based on what the animation is, rather than just trying to predict how far they're going to travel from code. These are all the montages here. They got sound effects and everything in them. Turned off my sound effects. I can put it back on again. They're interesting, but oh, look at that run to start. Idle to run. Ooh, a left start and a right start. Wow, we're getting into the details here. What is that? That's a idle to jog forward left. Wow, okay, so if you're just starting from an idle and you go to left. What is the extra curve data we got in here? Move data speed, walk rotation, so we're going from a value of 1 to 0. I wonder how we're using that data. Like it's facing one direction and then at the end it faces the other direction, maybe? That's what the 1 to 0 is. Riz, yeah, I know ray tracing increases render time. Yeah, it definitely does. That's right. Timmy, this is the character from the first UE5 demo. Yeah, I think so. I mean, they may have updated it, but I wouldn't be able to identify what it was that's changed. Oh, Benito says, nope, she has long hair in the demo, I think. Sweating snowman. Oh yeah, she doesn't have any hair right here. What's going on? I'm not sure if that's the actual way the asset looks here. Let's jump into the level again. Oh yeah, nice catch. I am actually really interested to see how they do the little bit of cloth strip there that she had on her, because there's a lot of very subtle elements there that's happening, and I've never really had a lot of experience with doing cloth, and when you're getting influenced by world elements, I'm just curious to know how they handle that, and if that's like something that you can just do in UE4 or not. Oh yeah, she's got hair. That's actually like a proper hair broom right there. Timmy says, I didn't even know this demo was public. Wow. Okay. Well, then you must be pretty excited to find out that you can just download this and use it. I must admit, I mean, this is kind of obvious now, but it was really shocking that all this came free. Even people that, like, who have very close connections with Epic were quite surprised. Like, they just did not expect. They were just as surprised as everybody else. Yeah, so you can see that cloth piece. It looks like it's baked a little more on the top, like it's got a lot less movement ability up here, and then it has sort of a lot of freedom at the bottom half. It's a nice little strip of cloth though to work with, because it doesn't have, it looks nice, has nice secondary action, but it doesn't like dramatically have a lot of problems. Whoa. Just the attack loop, and then the non-attack. There's a light dart. Whoa, we have a whole bunch of poses here. Where's our blend space? There it is. Don't remember having that much control when I was doing my shot. Like, when would you be all moving and stuff? And what's the difference here? Oh, direction. So this must be a 360-degree direction. And this is 600 degrees. Oh, speed. I guess if you're jumping really fast, then you want the character to be like pushing off in an angle that complements the speed and the direction they're going. That would be impressive. Let's see if we can see the joints for a second here. Nothing too crazy. We got some tongue joints. We don't have very many face joints, so they might be all done with morphs. We do have the eye joints though. So all the eye, I think the eyeball and the eyelid animations are all done through joints. But why would you put tongue joints in if you weren't going to put anything else on the face? Let's see, jump over to the skeletal mesh. Take a look here. Biped knee. How do I change the size of this ratio so I can see what these say? Brow. Oh yeah, here's our morph targets. Okay, so we have like a full facial pose. This is different than how the MetaHuman's done, because MetaHuman was actually done through joints rather than... Whoa, that is a crazy slider. It's jaw open, but without actually opening the jaw. I guess the idea is you do this, plus you rotate the jaw joint. Wait, is that the jaw joint? Yeah. Maybe it's supposed to be done in connection. Oh, missing some conversations here. Can't download it at 15 kilobytes per second internet. Sorry, Timmy. Oh, man. Yeah. It's not funny. It's so true. I have fiber over here, and I downloaded it. It took like a couple hours. And I'm like, whoa. I was actually really worried it wasn't going to work. And I'm like, what am I going to do for my stream if I can't get this stupid thing downloaded? I still would have come up with something, but I was just nervous that it wasn't going to work. There's our jaw. So if you use the jaw joint in conjunction with the blend shape, you do actually get a pose that looks fairly normal. That's a little tricky though, to separate those. So that has to be handled somehow else. I don't know where they have the whole facial animation section. I guess you just sort of play the targets, right? It comes in through the animation data. You'll have various curves to control various pieces of data. Like here they are. So these curves for that particular animation are just being driven through the animation. So you have your jaw open, and then it would also animate in conjunction with the jaw animation of the... So it's all being handled in different software. Fair enough, that makes sense. Physics. Whoa, there's not much physics going on here. That must be to stop the cloth from passing through the body, I guess. Although there isn't one on that leg, which is weird. What happens if I simulate this? Don't know. I don't know how to simulate it. Oh, here it is. Oh, that's a different simulate. I don't know. I don't know how to do it. Well, that was cool, pretty cool. I never really got to look very much in terms of what the other things you can do here. We've got the idle states, walk, jog, idle. There's a lot of interesting things there we could taking a look at still. Here's our state machines. Going through a full body layer linking. There's the slot for doing the montages. Clamping range on the control rig. Oh, there is a control rig. Oh boy, I didn't know there was a control rig for this character. Oh my goodness, there is so much more to learn about. Alright, I guess I'm running out of time, but these are actually really interesting. There's a lot of stuff here. I'll have to give it a try. I haven't even looked at the boss character either. Boy, oh boy. I don't know. We'll see next week when we got Will around. We're going to maybe take another look at some of this stuff and sort of collect our thoughts in terms of what we discovered over the next week and see if we can summarize into something more interesting. What do we got here? Audrey's talking about how uncanny that is. Fair enough. Let's see here. I'm having trouble using my... tool. All right, so anyway, if he's troublesome with fiber, imagine the rest of the wonky Wi-Fi. Oh yeah, with my fiber, that was a long time ago. You wrote fiber wrong. It's with an R-E instead of E-R. With my Weetabix and my fiber. Thank you for the stream. Audrey says, have a great weekend. Yes, you too. I appreciate that you guys are showing up. I always enjoy your company. It was a great, exciting stream. Lots of stuff that we took a look at and learned. Lots of stuff still to learn, which is always the case. But it was a lot of fun, very interesting to cover. And yeah, hopefully we'll all be able to summarize some interesting stuff. If you guys have any questions or anything that that you have down the road for what you want to talk about or what you want to hear on the stream, feel free to let me know. But otherwise, I'll wrap it up here. And wait, it's fiber. There you go. Audrey fixed it at the end. Way to go. But anyway, it's nice seeing everybody. It's great to see all these new faces. And I will see you again next week, a few hours, 6 hours earlier on Thursday. So keep an eye on that. And we'll see you back with Will Fosher. Jeez. Fosher? Anyways, we'll ask him again when we show up. All right, guys, take care. See you next week.